Hello, and welcome to a special edition of Seeking Heaven, the Near-Death Experience and Other Phenomena. Tonight is going to be so exciting, but before we begin, subscribe, like, make comments, and also consider being one of my members, which really helps support this channel. Any donation, and I have a whole range and different membership perks that are awesome, so please check that out. So tonight, we have a special edition, a Galactic Federation edition. How do you like my being aboard the ship? We're going to have, I told you guys, we're going to have fun on this channel, and I'm serious. We are going to have enlightenment, and we are going to spiritually grow together, and we're going to have fun at the same time. So tonight we have back Fiona Van Rensburg. She is a Pleiadian. She is a Galactic DNA Light Activator and also a healer. So, and of course, Pleiadians are known for their DNA light activations and also being a healer. And I'm going to bring her on. She's from South Africa. So welcome to, good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to turn this over to you. I'm excited. We're going to be talking about, I think you're going to go into what is a DNA light activation, just so people can know what to expect from today. And then what is the sacred geometry? And then you're going to explain what this is, that you're going to put everybody through it's not a whole one, it's just a sampling, because these things can take, 2-3 hours, but a DNA light activation and what maybe they can expect. So I'm just going to give you the floor and let you go for it.
Thank you. So in order to be able to do these DNA activations, what we do is we first activate the light body. And on my website, when people go there, they'll see phase 1 is doing and having the light body activated. And I think you've got the nice picture there of how it looks when your light body is activated.
Yes, here.
No, the other one with the wings.
Yes, got it. Okay, got it. Nope, excuse me. Sorry, that's bear with me, guys. Hold on. I've got a lot of images here. Here we go.
That one, yes. So a light body is also referred to as a Merkabah. And if you've heard the one, you've heard the other one. And it is, Merkabah is broken down as the following. Mer, which means light. Ka, which means spirit, and Ba, which means body. So when your Merkabah is activated, it's in a star tetrahedron form. That's the Star of David, or that 6-pointed star that you can see the human being in. And this is the crystalline field of information that is reasonably linked with each cell in the physical body. And it's in an interactive state. So it's an energetic field surrounding the body. When it's activated, it's 54 feet in diameter around us. And that is what you connect to spirit with. So in the light body activation, I raise your vibrational frequency to that of the 5th dimension, and then I raise it to the 6th dimension. And you get placed in 2 chambers of light. A manifestation and illumination chamber of light, and the cosmic reintegration chamber of light. And it's such beautiful experience where every time I've done a light body activation, people will get off that bed and say, oh, wow, I've never experienced something like that before. The benefits of having the light body activated is that there's acceleration of the cosmic ascension process. So I help people with these ascension tools, and it's also the ability to control your life energetically and view life through your master eyes, because I open up the third eye. Those that once the third eye open, the light body activation is the vehicle that will get you there. There's increased ESP skills, such as telepathy, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. There's a reconnection to your soul family and friends of the light. When I connect people up there, they say they haven't seen them, but they know them, because we know these beings that is on the other side, and that's just waiting to connect with us and help us with our journey here on Earth. and our service work, especially those that are light workers or feel that they want to heal, want to do more. I help them. I help them so well. Then there's also a recalibration of the energy field of the body, moving into the heart, because I take strands of light from each chakra and I braid it together in the heart. And then with this heart energy, I cocoon them in their own love energy. And it's in this that they expand and they grow and they can shine, because we should think with our hearts, act from our hearts. This is our, okay, there's a heart, there's a mind within the heart, and this is the mind we should use, not this one. So the more we move into the heart, the more we move in this golden age of life, where we can really do what's the best for the rest of humanity.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're already intuitive and clairvoyant, will that turn it on more, do you think?
It will just enhance it more, because we all are in different stages of our development, and it just takes yours to the next level.
Okay.
So more will come through, more will be experienced, a deeper sense, a clearer sense. It's like when we did the exchange and you did the healing for me, it's the guides move closer. So we always are in a state of evolutionary change. And when we do these activations, although evolution helps us evolve automatically, it takes us years, sometimes lifetimes. What the Light Body and DNA activation does, it just gives you a boost, just accelerate it, so that you can then move from that stage onwards. It just, it's like having a lift up.
Well, I tell you what, so it depends on the person. It really depends what they get out of it. And, but I tell you what, myself and 2 other people that I have sent you, there may be more, but I can't think right now that I've had them. They were blown away, and it just made them more aware, more of who they already are. So did you want me to now?
Yes, the DNA activations, yes. Now, the DNA activation is my creme de la creme. That's the phase 2.
Okay.
So after your light body is activated, then you can do your DNA activation. And I want to tell the group just a little bit more about the DNA. So your DNA, these double serpent helix strands, is to be found in the nucleus of every cell of the body. And we have approximately 100 trillion cells in the body. The nucleus is the core of each cell and contains all the information necessary to create your entire body and all the differentiating cells. In fact, if the DNA strands in the nucleus of every strand in the body were stretched end to end, it will cover over 125 billion miles long. Furthermore, the chemically encoded information would cover approximately 75,000 pages of written text. So if you were a coder and you had to write the code to make this human body, it will take you that much information. Now, it's said that the scientist says that only 3% of our DNA is activated, and the rest is, they call it junk DNA. But this 97% junk DNA is where all the good stuff is. But science hasn't found out what that good stuff is yet. But luckily, those that know that that is what we want activated. And just something a little bit about the history of our DNA.
Yeah.
The first ancient civilization that was on the Earth plane was the age of Lemuria. And the Lemurians' DNA was activated up to 90%. That means that they had the knowing. When your DNA is activated, you've got this inner knowing because you're connected to everything. In the age of Atlantis, their DNA was activated about 50%.
Okay.
So in the age of Lemuria, there was 25,000 years of peace on the Earth. In the age of Atlantis, the DNA was activated 50%, and it was.
How long? How long was
50%.
that civilization? How long did Atlantis reign?
For many, many years, for many thousands of
So,
years.
real quick, because I don't want to leave this out, because I know you're like a brainiac on this, but my viewers watching, I don't want to make sure I leave them behind or anything. Not that we're slow, but this is new to a lot of people. So, Lemuria, that was on planet Earth, Lemuria.
Yes.
And that was, what was that near? Where was Lemuria near?
Near Hawaii, just above Hawaiian Islands.
Okay, the Hawaiian.
Yeah, they still carry a lot of the Lemurian energies.
Really? Do they look like them at all, or no?
I think the ancients have similar looks. Yes.
Okay. So they had 2,000 to 3,000 years of peace, and they had 90.
No, 200,000 years of peace.
200,000. Oh my gosh. Okay. So 200,000. And then, wow. Okay. And they had 90-something% of their DNA opened up versus activated. So then, like the Atlanteans that you were talking about, theirs was half. So their civilization did not last as long as Lemuria.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that goes hand in hand?
They had advanced technologies that the Lemurians didn't have. The Lemurians didn't have to have them. But what's interesting is the current humanity on this earth plane, our DNA is only activated 3%. So it's not like how people think we come from cavemen, because the ancient civilizations was actually a lot more clued up than we were. We sort of, I want to say, the dumbest of the lot. But we are the densest. So what we do as beings of light, when we come here, we come to master various frequencies and various dimensions.
Okay.
And we've taken ourselves to the densest level, the 3D. And then we can get denser than us.
I love how you said the Earth, that you said that to the more love and light solar systems and planets and the Pleiadians, that Earth is, even though it's an honor to be here now to help with this mission to bring more love and light and awaken the planet, that it is known kind of like the ghetto of the planet. and I'm like, so I'm wondering, like, people that have a near-death experience and they crawl over and they go, oh, hey, you came from Earth, right? And they were like, how can you tell?
So it's we just in self-mastery, we just want to master everything. So if we can take ourselves to the lowest and awaken to the true self that we really are, and we get to the higher dimensions, then we've got a full range of mastery of that. And that's it's like when you play a game and you play this computer game and you go through these various levels and you think, okay, if I can master this, I wonder if they can make it a little bit harder. And each time it becomes harder, and we think, no, we can do this, because in our soul form we are so brave and we're so full of light, and we're so magnificent that we think, no, I'm sure I can remember who I am. I'm sure. But then we make these buddy pacts and we say, okay, this time you come into my life and you remind me, if I don't know yet, you're the one that will wake me up. And that's why when I get certain clients, it's like, I know you, or there's a feeling of familiarity, because it's just that synchronicity is you get connected to the people that will help you to your next level.
Yeah, we felt, and it's really crazy. We were talking about the pre-show. You've got to see, not pre-show, but the episode before. You've got to see that. It's really good, where Fiona goes into what Pleiadian is, the planet, the higher level ones, sacred geometry, Team God, who's on there, who's working with us, who's helping, and kind of what the name of the game is to raise the vibration. But she goes into the history a little bit, and there's images, so it's really cool. So don't miss that. So yeah, it was funny. Like with us, after it was a while, there was a familiarity, but then I was like, I know I've worked with you before, and you're in South Africa, but I know that I have. Yeah, like it matters. You're like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's like from outer space. It doesn't really matter. So I'm embracing my whole inner starseed. What do you think? This is good. I look like a tin can. A tin can sitting in the deck of a ship. So this is also a celebration of you, Fiona, with Pleiadians. Because you know what? Our history of Earth is not exactly accurate because Earth is young, right? And this goes back, we were not cavemen exactly. The DNA was interacted with from other planets.
Yeah, the Pleiadians came 100,000 years ago and gave us their star seeds. It was usually we just I'm going to say it was recycled on the earth. We just incarnated, and that's how we became old souls, because we've been here many times, so we just kept them coming back. But when the Pleiadians gave us these seeds, it was like gave us part of their DNA, and that was to connect us to our higher self, which is connected to God. And that was then the ability that when we ascend, when we master this, we can actually go back home and we can go back up. So that was the Pleiadians' gift to us, and they've always worked with us and wanted the highest evolution for humanity.
And then you said, and the bonus here is for you further along on your spiritual path, if you do this right, not trying to sell your DNA services there, but if you remember and work on this, you could graduate out of Earth. There are other planets at higher vibration. So, but we've been here a long time. So why is now, I don't think we answered this last time, but so just to go back for just a quick second, why, because I'd love to get your feedback, why now? Why is it so critical with Earth that that we awaken spiritually, or awaken to our light code where we're from, which is kind of implanted and seated in us? Why now? What's going on now that's so critical, do you think?
You see, the Earth has always gone through various cycles. So we've gone through an Iron Age and a Copper Age and whatever. And every 26,000 years, the Earth goes and ends a cycle and starts a new cycle. And that new cycle is then the Golden Age. And the Age of Lemuria was a Golden Age. So the Age of Atlantis was a Golden Age. And that 26,000 year ended, 26,000 year cycle ended the 12th of December, or the 21st of December 2012. So we signed up to be here now, because usually at that junction, there used to be a grand disillusion. Either there was floods, or there was ice, or there was something where the ice of the earth shook people off, and people left, and a new cycle started. We did something that was unprecedented. We took this earth into a new cycle while still having all these humans on this earth, because enough people woke up in 2012 and has been waking up incrementally, tremendously through the various stages. When I connected with my granny in 2006, she said that I was part of the first forerunner souls that signed up for this experiment to see if we can go into 4D and 5D while remaining in a 3D reality. They didn't know humans can do that. We are taking and doing things on this earth plane that others haven't done. And when that was achieved, it was rolled out to the rest of humanity. And more is now able to raise their frequency to the 5th and the 6th dimensional frequencies.
Okay, so stop there for a minute, because I want to make sure no one's lost. So 3D is our material world, our desk, our material world, our bodies, and so forth, our homes. To explain what 4 and 5D is. Dimension, that's D means dimension, but explain as you know it what that might be and the importance of why we need to go there.
Yes, 4D is when we transition from, I've got a, on one of my presentations, I did the explanation of the
But I mean, you could just do it simply. It's just to be more spiritual. Is it more of a light body? Is it more of a consciousness change shift?
It's a consciousness change. Everything is a consciousness change. So as where 5D is closer to, I want to say, source energy, closer to love and light, closer to unity consciousness. 4D is a transition from 3D to 5D. So it's an in-between. By 5D, the ego has fallen away. There's no more ego. It's not me, myself, and I. It's we. 3D consciousness is me consciousness. I'm aware of me and me, myself, and I only look after me.
And me again.
And 5 is, it's we all together. We all in this together. There's high levels of consciousness. There's more awareness. There's more love. There's more unity. Yes.
I do see that. I do see a lot of people that are regular people, nurses, policemen, teachers, not spiritually whatever, or whatever, rainbow indigo kids or anything like that, but just regular people that I am seeing that are wanting to be spiritually aware, asking questions. And that I did a segment on what to do if you're spiritually waking up, because I'm seeing this this is happening. And what I've been told by another Pleiadian, like, how many do you know? I don't know that many. I mean, just like 3, that's all. But you're the best. You're #1 to me. So what I've been told is that if we can get several people, their consciousness raised, that energy vibration will start automatically waking people up. Is that true?
Yes. You see, it's to get to a critical mass. So when we get to the critical number of people that is activated, it just makes it more, just raises the collective. And that's why they say the power of 1. It starts with 1, and then 1 becomes, until we get to 144,000, and then we are past that. So it's not to worry about others. It's very much a focus on self-development, self-growth. But what you do matters, because it also links to with the others that are waking up. And the more of us that's concentrating on that and sending those vibrations out, the more it raises it for the collective.
Amen, sister. I definitely believe that, because otherwise, why are we here? I mean, we are affecting what's going on, and other people are too, and we're working together in this woven tapestry of this energy that's going on. So let me ask you this: why was it? And I had someone, if you haven't seen this show, I did one with Sergio Magnotta. He was fantastic. He was Toltec Indian with the Mayan calendar, and he has a Pleiadian mentor. Anyway, he said that in 2012 that was critical, waking up, and he's explaining the awakening. He said the ones that actually wouldn't wake up, that their organs would just start shutting down because they would not match the vibration. I mean, this is his point of view. But why 2012? Why was the awakening happening in 2012?
That's what I explained. The 26,000 year cycle. The Mayan calendar was marked with 26,000 years of that we go through.
I got it. Okay.
But it's the end of the old age, the end of the Piscean age, the end of the old ways of me, myself, and I. It was when we moved and transitioned into the golden age, which started then, and we are moving closer to that. But a lot of the old systems had to come to an end, and that's why we've seen governments changing, people at top positions changing. All these things happen, and so much has to change from where we were to where we need to be, that there's been a crumbling of these old structures, and it's all in its appropriateness, because I'm going to say everything needed to come up and out, and some purging needed to happen, some revelations of what actually people are doing needed to come to the foreground. But for people not to fear, but to finally stand in their power, to finally use their voice, to finally say, no, this is what we won't accept anymore. No, we are conscious of our bodies. No, this, no, this. So it is for humanity to rise and start taking responsibility for themselves. And
Bingo. Bingo. And, I think that for many years, from what I can observe, and probably past lives, people have been on automatic and have been at effect to what others around them decide. Whereas now, it's kind of a good thing. It's funny, I was talking to my sister, visited her a couple days, and she was saying all these people she knows now is now starting to look at their childhood and this and that and their marriages. And that's the purging you're talking about that's needed. And people look at it like it's a horrible thing. I think it's a great thing. Get rid of the stuff you don't want, so to make room for the people and the opportunities that you do want. And you can even see it globally with culture, with government, with thought processes. And you've got the old way of thinking and the new way of thinking. And there's quite a battle going on. All I know is God wins. So the love and light does win. Just saying, we're on the right team. So it's not a good thing to focus on fear, but just focus on, like you said, I think you're right, the truth. And that takes courage to stand in your truth, because your truth may be, I'm a Syrian starseed, but I love Jesus. That's my truth. And one of my good friends is a Pleiadian. Okay. So that's, what I'm saying? I mean, it's a big deal. Who cares? What's your truth? And I think so many people have, and that's back to your talking about earlier from the first episode, is stops they put on themselves and blocks. And that's where you come in.
It's when I work spiritually, the first thing that one has to do is actually take responsibility. To understand what was your role that you played in all that you manifested. Because sometimes we think, no, God has cursed me, or this one has cursed me, or that has happened, or we place the focus outside. And while it's outside, you can't change it within. So only when you start taking responsibility for your thoughts, your feelings, your belief systems, your attitudes, that you can co-create with spirit the heaven and earth that we came to experience.
Well, and also responsibility equals freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And okay, guys, look, we live forever. So it's not like you can screw this up too bad. And right. And you're seeing people now that, that friendships are ending. I was reading some article, friendships are ending on disagreements of politics of the day. And I'm like, well, it could be immature. It could be, why be upset over that and just let people go their own way? Or it could be B, maybe they should. Maybe it's time to allow people to grow and or not grow, or whatever they need to. So tell us how these DNA activations can help someone. What do they do besides just remembering? Because it was pretty instant for me, which was shocking because I didn't expect anything. I really didn't, but it was amazing. So I've had the 3 DNA activations. Are there more? Have I done them all?
There's 2. Yes, you did both of the DNA activations.
Okay. Did I pass the test, teacher?
You passed the test with flying colors.
Yeah, we were laughing because at the end, I think I started glowing, which was totally freaking awesome. I wish I could do that at will, which is really great. I mean, look, there's so many capabilities that we can do. I started remembering how we used to have lightning come out of our hands, and you did too. So, I've turned on my big TV before. I've turned a light post and it blew it out walking by, and I knew it was me. And also a building, I turned all the lights on. I don't know how to control and do that, but just think that's our natural ability.
Yeah.
Wow. So go ahead and tell us about, I know today you're going to be doing a activation, and tell us a little bit about, maybe we should talk about sacred geometry, or where do you want to go with this?
Yes, I just want to expand a little bit on the DNA activation. So,
okay,
in our DNA activation, we've got key codes, we've got 5 letters, we've got sacred geometry, and we'll go into that just now. But we also got our Akashic records. And the Akashic records is actually stored within the DNA. And the Akashic records is the record of all the lifetimes that you lived on this earth plane. Now, while this DNA is still blocked and unactivated, only our fearful stuff comes through and controls us. But when our DNA is activated, all the times that we've experienced that we've become saints, that we became ascended, that we've ascended, that we, all our good gifts, talents, abilities, the times that we were healers, that we were teachers, that all those memories start coming through. Our true abilities, and also our life purpose, so that we understand why we came here and what we came here to do, what comes naturally to us. So the benefits of the DNA activation is first, we do a lot of clearing of the emotional bodies and the lower bodies. As I said, the clearing of the cellular levels of false beliefs, of the judgments, the condemnations that we've inherited from parallel realities and lifetimes. There's increased light in the body as the cellular level, as the atoms and molecules start spinning in increased frequencies of light. And that's why people start to shine. There's a remembrance of our history. And through connecting and merging with our multidimensional selves, because I open up the portal from the third dimensional portal till the ninth dimensional portal, and we build these multidimensional bodies of light, which I'll show the sacred geometry of now. And in that,
right,
we get to connect with our higher selves at each of those dimensional levels. So we just become more one with ourselves, with our true selves.
All right.
Yes, so we work with the sacred geometry, where the first one is the icosahedron, the octahedron, the startetrahedron, the cube, and the dodecahedron. And for each of our multidimensional bodies of light, which we have quite a number of, we activate we use the sacred geometry to activate that. So if you show the other pictures of the...
Yes. That one or the one at the bottom?
No, the next one.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
One, the next one.
Okay. That one?
No.
Okay. We got, okay. So we had the 4. Okay. Which one do you want?
Use it in the box. It's a cube. Yes, that's the one. So that's the first one that we start building, and that's your building of the solar body of light, where we use the sacred geometry of the cube and also a sphere of light. Now, we use color, we use sound, we use all kinds of frequencies to activate. After that one, there's another one that is the 5D, and it's an interstellar body of light. Just let's see which is the next sacred geometry. Not that one, not that one. Yes, that one. That is connecting to the 5D, and it's the interstellar body of light. Then the first one, where you see the star tetrahedrons, the male and female.
Okay. Yes.
That one, yes. Now with the star tetrahedron, it's different. The shapes are for a man and different for a woman. And that we activate your 6-dimensional galactic body of light. Then there's also the 7th is the intergalactic body of light, which is the icosahedron. That's the triangles. Yes, that one. Yes. And then the other one is the dodecahedron. That's the pentagonal dodecahedron. That's the 8D building of your universal body of light. And then the flower of life is the multi-universal body of light. And that's connecting you to the 9th dimensional frequencies. And that's where we then download for each of these bodies of light. We download 7 chakras. So 50 gets downloaded in the first DNA activation, and then another 50 gets downloaded in the second DNA activation. And we also activate the acupuncture meridian lines. So there's a connecting to the higher light permanently. and the realms of illuminated truth. The remembrance of our cosmic history through connecting and merging with our multidimensional selves. The coming into empowerment, experiencing unconditional love and viewing life through our master eyes. Greater abundance, joy, and focus on our daily lives. Attracting and magnetizing people and events that will assist us to flow with the universe in perfect harmony, and then a balancing of the physical as well as our spiritual bodies.
Yes.
So in the DNA activation, that is all that gets to happen. That's the benefits that people can experience from that.
Well, I mean, is it, I was going to say, what can people expect? I guess it's different for different people. But for me, I think it was the first one. I remember the second one, I sort of seen a lot of past life on other planets. And the third one, I was just kind of blown out of my head. I just didn't really, after I saw all my other bodies and other planets, I'm like, why should I worry about anything? So, but I guess it can enhance, it can turn on whatever needs to be turned on, whether it's intuitive abilities or whatever it may be.
Yes.
Another thing happened after all of that. I think I spoke my truth more. People go, really, you haven't held back, but I think I have, and I'm standing more in my power. And also, I want to finish my book. I have several books to finish afterwards. So, who's to say what it'll do for people?
Yes, it's personal to everyone, and everyone's experience is different. The one client that I had this last month, after his light body activation, but I started with the DNA activations, he started talking light language, and he started channeling for himself, and he started to bring messages through. And with each time he connected, more messages would come through. And he got to understand why he's here. He got to understand what his purpose is, his mission. Everything was outlined in detail. So every person gets it different, but they get what they are ready for. Nothing is given prematurely. It's whenever you are ready, and there's a feeling of, I need this. I've been looking for this. Then you are ready. It's just awesome.
So let me ask you this: how many people living on Earth are really human? I mean, I know we're human, but our original state. I mean, or most. I mean, can you define? This seems like we should have done this earlier, but whatever. What do you think starseed means, and how many people here are really truly originate or human?
I don't know the percentages. I know some people are just human, and Kron has also said that. But then there's lots that are old souls that are starseeds that haven't originated from here. They've had experiences on other planes and planets. So starseed is where you can either have a feeling or a remembrance of other incarnations and other places. If not that, it's just you realize you're different. And I think you also said now you can start recognizing when you can see another Syrian, you can see another Earth Angel, you can see another Pleiadian. So certain ones you can just see.
I can see.
And it's like in let's say what happens in the multi-universe happens in not multi-universe. What happens above happens below, but it's there's macrocosm and microcosm. So in the galaxies, there's so many beings. Now they thought, okay, so let's see if we take representations of all that and place them on Earth and see what happens. And as there's Star Wars there's also fighting amongst us. Now the cool thing is to see, can we get back to peace? Because when we get back to peace, we can project there. Because what we do matters there. They look to see what can be done. So it's for us to just take care of ourselves, meaning of our own vibration, raise it, awaken, go into the love, and then start sending out these frequencies by just walking on this earth plane in the love energy. You're already doing something. You don't have to be be a prophet. You don't have to be whatever. It's the energy that you carry. It's the energy that you share with people that matters.
Wow, that is so powerful, that just being here, that just your presence. Actually, that was something that I channeled in Jesus Speaks in March. He said, just your presence of love here changes, ripples, it changes everything.
It does.
So
That is the power that we have, and it's to use it now, consciously and aware, with full awareness.
and you're also talking about the earlier about the DNA activation and remembering who we are. Now I have past life recall instantly. I don't need to even I don't need to go into a deep trance, whatever, because we did the return to innocence, which we're working on, which it involves some past life stuff. And I just go right there. I'm like, boom, I'm here. I just go right there. So that, and also about all my readings are now the medium stuff. Yeah, Granny will come through and say hello and give evidence so people know I'm not completely, that I live on a starship and took off. But we'll get some evidence. We'll get some real solid stuff. They're like, oh yeah, undeniable names that people don't know of all this stuff or whatever it is. And then I'm doing like life purpose Akashic record stuff. It's just, I can't help it. It's just what's happening. And that is not evidential in terms of maybe solid things, but it is evidential to the soul.
Yes.
The soul can feel it. They're kind of like, ooh, that feels right. So, and you tell people, well, you don't have to take it, just kind of sit on it and see what you feel about that. So, so tell us about what you're going to do with us today with this DNA sampling, this activation, and what should people expect and how should they be about it? Should they lay down? Should they, definitely they want to be in a quiet place.
Yes. So I want them just to become comfortable. They can either lie down or sit comfortably within a chair and just connect. So this will be, I'll be doing, it's not the normal DNA activation that I do. As I said, that is up to 3 hours, and we do a lot of clearing and a lot of things. So when people want to chat the next people and go deeper, they can book a one-on-one session. But this is will be done through affirmations. And although I'll talk in the first person, meaning I line into and whatever it is, you're going to just listen to the words and you're just going to feel into the energy. And when I say I, it is you. And you're just going to, we're going to talk in the first person, but it's to make it personal for each one of them. And I want them just to experience the energies. I'll be calling in the beings of light that works with me, with the light body activations and the DNA activations. And that core team will help each one that is listening to this transmission.
Okay. And those are those the people that people may not know who that is, but they're just Team God. Okay.
Yes.
We reviewed that in the first one. So if you don't know, look at it in the first one. They're all Team God. It's all love and light, nothing weird. So it's all good. But we keep our portals clean, don't we? 111. Yes. It is smooth.
So, yes, I ask for divine protection for us as a collective, and I also have already called for all the higher selves of those that are part of this transmission, that will listen to this in future, that they receive also the protection and the blessing of God and the angels.
Oh, that's beautiful. And you work with Jesus, so I mean, you can't. That's one thing I loved about the Pleiadians right off. They've got to be okay people, because they're like, oh yeah, we work with Jesus, and I'm like, okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I was like, hey, that's got to be a good thing. So this is where discernment comes in. And again, when I started getting these DNA activations, which I didn't know what they were initially, I didn't have any fear or even any fear from me. I never felt any of that. It felt strangely comfortable.
Yeah.
It felt it was like have you ever eaten a food that's really good for your body, like kale or something, and you eat it and you go, wow, I really needed that green kale. It just felt like that. Like I really needed that, but I didn't know it. So that's what it felt for me, but everybody's different. Yeah. So whenever you want to start.
Okay.
Okay, I'm excited. Guys, are you excited? Get comfortable, shake it out, get comfortable.
Closing your eyes, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. With each in-breath, taking in the consciousness and awareness that's available to you now. And with each out-breath, release all that no longer serves you, in order for you to be shining lighter and lighter, brighter and brighter. Just allow this tone, this vibration, this frequency to go in, through, and around your body as you just relax. Slow, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Expand your lower abdomen as you breathe in, and contract your lower abdomen as you breathe out. We ask for the Crystalline Sun DNA template activation for all the souls that is listening to this and that is in free will choice requesting it. I call on the Christed One. I call on the Pleiadian Emissaries of the light. I call on the Syrian Archangelic League of the light. I call on the Andromeda and intergalactic beings of the light. And I call in the Arcturian emissaries of the light. I call in the Brotherhood of the light. I call in the Mahatma. I call in Helios and Vesta. I call in the Galactic Diva of healing. I call in Pan. I call in my highlight, and I call in your highlight. And we'll be doing the Crystalline Sun DNA templates activation. In this session with you, we are going to activate the Crystalline Sun DNA templates. This DNA process works with the rays of creation, the building of the light bodies, 5 letters and key codes, taking you deeper into alignment with the cosmic heart of all creation. This DNA activation process is approximately 45 minutes, so please ensure that you are comfortably relaxed throughout this process. I will speak in the first person and request that you please repeat what I say in your own mind, so you can experience the activation of the Crystalline Sun DNA templates. So please repeat the following after me in your mind. I align into the inner earth sun, the sun within my heart, the sun, the central sun, and now the grand central sun. I call upon the overlighting of Mother, Father, God, and all the beings of light from on high that I personally acknowledge as I now merge with my beloved I Am Presence. I now request the activation of my Crystalline Sun DNA templates through the energy of the 12 rays of creation, chakra and light body activations, external lines, and the appropriate geometries, letters, key codes, and numerologies as I am placed in a Crystalline Sun DNA activation chamber of light. I request the activation of my first strand DNA through the anchoring and activating of the 7th ray of ceremonial magic in a beautiful violet flame within and around my body, as I focus on the breaking down of old structures, paving the way for the new golden age of life. I request the activation of the 12 fire letters within this first strand DNA, as these scalar wave programs, these standing wave patterns, composed of qualities of conscious energy, activates the subatomic particles within the body, now spinning increased frequencies of light through the crystalline matrix of solar Christ consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, key codes, and numerologies. I request the activation of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me into the first of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within the unity grid of divine love. I call now forth the cosmic fires of Helios and Vesta to activate my physical body as a temple of light, taking these sacred pink, gold, and copper gold flames into each organ and body part, and into each subatomic particle of my beingness. I trust in the divine unfolding of my service work and sacred contract as I transmute my earthly ego allurements and cosmic karmic patternings. I am a disciple of Mother Father God and initiate of light. I align myself into my original divine 8-cell blueprint as the sacred custodian to Mother Earth and all her life, creating and affecting change in my reality and my environment through the key codes of light that I hold at a cellular level. I now request the activation of the second strand DNA through the anchoring and activating of the 6th ray of devotion and idealism in a beautiful indigo color through and around my body, as I focus on devotion and my connection to Mother Father God and the legions of light from on high. I request the activation of the 12 fire letters and within the second strand DNA, as the subatomic particles within the body now spin and increase their frequencies of light through the crystalline matrix of solar Christ consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, and key codes and numerologies. I request the activation of the second of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me to the second of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within the unity grid of divine love. And I'll call forth the cosmic fires of Helios and Vesta to activate my astral body as my divine cup body of light, the holographic body of my physical body, taking me in these sacred pink gold and copper gold flames into my divine cup body of light. I am a transfiguring flame of divine love in service to the divine. I surrender to my sacred contract and service work in love and devotion, inspiration, intuition, and discipline. I'm a master being of an initiate of light. I request the activation now of this third strand DNA through the anchoring and activating of the fifth ray of concrete knowledge in a beautiful orange color and around my body as I focus on the balancing of polarities, the realignment of the left and right hemisphere of my brain, and now the pituitary, pineal, and hypothalamus glands. I request activation of the 12 phi letters within this third strand DNA as the subatomic particles within the body now spin in increased frequencies through the crystalline matrix of cellular consciousness. I request the activation of the third of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me to the third of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within this unity grid of divine love. I call Father to the sacred pink, gold, and copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta to activate my emotional body and to purify my emotions as I experience my full range of emotions, loving every aspect of myself. I integrate the wisdom of Mother, Father, God with the love of the cosmic flame of and the scent of divine love as I experience the intelligence of the higher mind of Mother, Father, God. I now request the activation of the fourth strand DNA through the anchoring and activating of the fourth ray of harmony through conflict in a beautiful emerald green color within and around my body as I focus on harmony and my creative gifts and service work within this golden age of life. I request the activation of the 12 phi letters within this fourth strand DNA as the subatomic particles within the body now spin in increased frequencies of light through the crystalline matrix of cellular consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, key codes, and numerologies. I request the activation of the fourth of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me into the fourth of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within the unity grid of divine love. I now call forth the sacred pink gold and copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through my mental body to align my lower mind and the negative ego with the mind of God. I am beauty and purity manifest in a physical vessel of light. I am inspired creatively through my connection to my I am presence. I follow my intuition and I'm led through life by the embrace of the overlighting of Mother, Father, God and the company of heaven. I surrender to my divine expression, manifest in form as appreciation and magnificence. I now request the activation of the fifth strand DNA and the anchoring and activating of the first ray of will and power in a beautiful red color within and around my body as I focus on empowerment and aligning my will to the divine will of Mother, Father, God. I request the activation of the 12 phi letters within this fifth strand DNA as the subatomic particles within the body now spin in increased frequencies of light through the crystalline matrix of cellular consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, key codes, and numerologies. I request the activation of the fifth of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me to the fifth of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within the unity grid of divine love. And now call forth the sacred pink gold and the copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through my etheric body of the full anchoring, activating, and merging of my etheric body. I am an empowered being. I take back my power that I had given to others and my subconscious mind as I step into my own power, bringing with it self-worth, self-respect, honor, and the understanding of the divine equality of all life. I call forth to my I Am presence to strengthen my will, to give me the courage and the commitment to step into a deeper level of trusting and surrendering to the divine. I request the activation of the 6th strand DNA through the anchoring and activating of the 3rd ray of divine intelligence in a beautiful yellow color within and around my body as I focus on wisdom through knowledge, linking my higher mind into the higher mind of Mother, Father, God. I request the activation of the 12 fire letters within the 6th strand DNA as the subatomic particles within the body now spin in increased frequencies of light through the crystalline matrix of stellar Christ consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, and key codes and numerologies. I request the activation of the 6th of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me into the 6th level of 12 levels of Christ consciousness within the unity grid of divine love. I call forth the sacred pink gold and copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through the monadic body for the anchoring, activating, and merging of my monadic body of light. I am a light beholden to God. I am wisdom and love, clear intelligence and creativity in action. I recognize the divine equality of all life. I choose the path of service and divine love, and this transfiguring flame of divine love and initiate of light. I now request the activation of the 7th strand DNA and the anchoring and activating of the 2nd ray of love wisdom in a beautiful blue-pink color within and around my body as I focus on divine love, experiencing divine love through the heart temple and feeling this love for all creation. I request the activation of the 12 fire letters within the 7th strand DNA as the subatomic particles within the body now spin in increased frequencies of divine love through the crystalline matrix of stellar Christ consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, key codes, and numerologies. I request the activation of the 7th of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me to the 7th of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within this unity grid of divine love. I now call forth the sacred pink, gold, and copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through my body for the full anchoring and activating of my body of light. I am a magical and loving being of light. I embrace myself and all life through the divine flame of love. I am compassionate, wise, and creative. I'm inspired by love, by life, and the love for myself and for others. I now request the activation of the 8th strand DNA, to anchoring and activating of the 8th ray of transcendence in a beautiful seafoam green and violet color around my body, as I focus on transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration, releasing any limiting beliefs and patterns, and using my body into an increased light of all creation. I request the activation of the 12 pi letters within this 8th strand DNA, as the subatomic particles within the body now spin and increase their frequencies of light through the crystalline matrix of solar Christ consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, key codes, and numerologies. I request the activation of the 8th of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me to the 8th of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within this unity grid of divine love. I now call forth the sacred pink gold and copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through my body of light for the full anchoring and activating and the merging of my body of light. I surround myself in the sacred flame of transcendence as I embrace my service role in love, integrity, equilibrium, and balance, transmuting all that I no longer need to process and integrate in this now. I'm a co-creator to the company of heaven, manifesting all that I now need through service in love. I request the activation of the 9th strand DNA through the anchoring and activating of the 9th ray of highest potentials in a beautiful blue-green color within and around my body as I focus on purpose, passion, and joy, and my heart's dreaming. I request the activation of the 12 pi letters within my 9th strand DNA as the subatomic particles within the body now spin in increased light frequencies through the crystalline matrix of solar Christ consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, key codes, and numerologies. I now request the activation of the 9th of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me to the 9th of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within this unity grid of divine love. I now call forth the sacred pink gold and copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through my body of light for the full anchoring and activating and merging with my body of light. The creative expansion of the higher mind and connect to the realms of illuminated truth in wisdom, joy, splendor, and mercy. I experience my highest potential as an initiate of light through the merging and integration of my higher self of the light and the mighty all I am presence, creating and building my I am avatar body of light, my Adam Katman body of light. I am love and compassion in physical embodiment. I manifest the creations of light, anchoring to the divine will of Mother, Father, God. I now request the activation of the 10th strand DNA and the anchoring and activating of the 10th ray of divinity in a beautiful pearlescent color within and around my body as I focus on the divine equality and the threefold flame of power, love, and wisdom. I request the activation of the 12 phi letters within this 10th strand DNA as the subatomic particles within the body now spin in increased frequencies of divine love through the solar Christ consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, key codes, and numerologies. And I request the activation of the 10th ray of 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me to the 10th of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within this unity grid of divine love. And now call forth the sacred pink, gold, and copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through my overself body of light, my higher self of the light, and the full anchoring, activating, and merging with the unity grid of divine love. I call forth the fourth of the pink gold and the copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through my overself body of light, my higher self of the light, and the full anchoring and activating and merging of my overself of the light. I am the divine embodiment of the sacred flame of divinity. I am power. I am love. I am wisdom in balance and equilibrium. I am infinite wisdom and detachment as I experience the higher mind of by the Father God through the integration of my I am presence. And I request that all burdens of forgetfulness be lifted so I may experience my immortal nature and the seed forms of the creation. I now experience all that I am through all dimensions and all creations of life as the sacred transfiguring flame of divine love and the master being of the illumination and love. I request the activation of the 11th strand DNA through the anchoring and activating of the 11th ray of illuminated truth and divine love in a beautiful pink orange color through and around my body as I focus on compassion, forgiveness, insight and understanding, and divine love. I request the activation of the 12 phi letters within my 11th strand DNA as the subatomic particles within the body spin in increased frequencies of light through the divine crystalline matrix of solar Christ consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, key codes, and numerologies. I request the activation of the 11th of the 12 major external lines through the appropriate meridians, the spin points, linking me into the 11th of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within the unity grid of divine love. I now call forth the sacred pink, gold, and copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through my anointed, Christed body of light, in the full anchoring, activating, and merging of the anointed, Christed body of light. My beloved, I am presence. I allow myself to experience and express my spiritual reality fall from the center of divine love, from the new earth templates of light and the Christ-led timelines. I experience my rebirth as a master being and sacred custodian to Mother Earth and all her life, through the cosmic heart of Mother Father God and the center of divine love. I now request the activation of my 12th strand DNA through anchoring and activating of the 12th ray of One Unity Consciousness in a beautiful golden color within and around my body as I focus on Christ consciousness and One Unity Consciousness. I request the activation of the 12 fire letters within my 12 strand DNA as the subatomic particles within the body now spin in increased frequencies of divine love and divine light through the crystalline matrix of solar Christ consciousness. I request the anchoring and activating of the appropriate chakras, geometries, key codes, and numerologies. And I request the activating of the 12 strand and the 12s of the major external lines through the appropriate meridians and spin points, linking me to the 12 of the 12 levels of Christ consciousness within the unity grid of divine love. I now call forth the sacred pink gold and copper gold flames of Helios and Vesta through my Adam Katmon body of light, my I am avatar body of light, for the full anchoring and activating and the merging of my Adam Katmon body of light. I am a Christ conscious being of light, in service to all life. Hidden knowledge is received to me as I remove all bands of forgetfulness. I experience the sacred flame of eternal love and one unity consciousness through the cosmic embrace of Mother Father God. I request the merging with all life in one unity consciousness, with the knowing of myself as a Christ conscious being of light and sacred transfiguring flame of divine love, assisting all life in this golden age of light and co-creating heaven on earth. And now ground into the crystal heart of Mother Earth, feeling this connection to all of life in divine love and in one unity consciousness. Really feel this connection with Mother Earth and all life now, as you slowly come fully back into your body. Remember to drink lots of water today as you relax for the next few hours and integrate the frequencies and key codes that you've experienced in this Crystalline Sun DNA template activation. And with this, I bid you the most magical day.
Wow. Wonderful. Wow, I'm so relaxed. Do you ever get anything from that energy as you're doing them?
Yes, everything is channeled through me, so I can feel all that has been shared, and a lot has been shared with a lot of people. So,
wow. Oh, I don't know why I didn't think about that. It's being channeled through you, so you're feeling it. You're feeling the, I don't know. Sorry. Thanks for telling me that. Oh my God. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
add something, yeah. So with the DNA activations and every work that we do, it's like we have the ability to switch ourselves on when we are in heartfelt feelings, when we heart is open and we enjoy and love. But we also have the ability to switch ourselves off when we go in fear and anger and all that. So people can have an activation and have the ability to switch themselves off. But also they've got the ability to switch themselves back on. And when people struggle to shift their vibration, then they can come and see me and I can help them just so that they can be switched on again.
Wow, now let me ask you this. Like, since I've had the DNA, that that was very relaxing for me, but I just felt a real deep sense of connection, a deeper sense. So I was getting complete benefit from that. And did I understand everything? No, I'm not a Pleiadian. I didn't understand everything. It didn't matter, because you're doing your thing. You're channeling that for us through to us in this to be able to get the benefit. When someone is ignited, awoken from these DNA activations and the light codes, it never cuts off, does it?
No, but that's what I said. It's like when they go in fear and they entertain that for long periods of time, they do switch themselves off, but they can switch themselves back on again. And you can have as many light body and DNA activations periodically as you need. As you feel you're ready for the next upgrade, each time you just go deeper, each time you get more, each time you're more switched on. So it's something, that they can just consider from time to time.
And let me ask you this, because some of the viewers watching, I'm still trying to talk after that. Blah, blah, blah. Let me form some words. Hold on. So I know we've had these Lion Gates portal and these different portals that have opened up that we're actually receiving from, let's say, the Galactic Federation, these light codes and so forth. And there's certain windows. I know that they've been watching us and they're trying to see where we are with things. Must be doing okay, because this is not about turning on the TV and seeing what's going on with people. This is in people's private time, within themselves. And so they're taking inventory of the frequency of everyone and how to update them. What do you, when these activations happen, would people be aware of it? And what is going on with that? Is that something that happens in their astral dream state, or are they just not aware of it? And how does that work?
To gain any benefit with any spiritual work is through meditation, and it's to sit. So many times when, especially on those double digit dates, which is the 7th of the 7th, or the 8th of the 8th, or the 9th of the 9th, I do these portal meditations. And it's for anybody. It's just to go and sit. It's like when there's a broadcast on the TV, you will miss the broadcast if you don't sit and put the TV on and watch it. Now, so Spirit broadcasts certain downloads that's available for us to receive. If we don't sit and set time and say, Spirit, I'm here to connect, I'm here to receive the download that's appropriate for me. You don't have to do anything specific. I can just feel when it's coming. And then I just sit in my meditation chair, I close my eyes. I have rapid eye movement when I connect with Spirit. I know when they're working with me, I receive the download, and then I go on my daily task. Or I lead a guided meditation for a group, or it happens in our sleep time and we astral travel and get. It's when we say, I'm open to receive, Spirit shares with us. So we just need to do things. And it's like the same with the light body activations and DNA activations. You have to do the inner work afterwards to get the maximum benefit. It's not just going to happen and they come to you when you're busy with 3D stuff. It's like when you set the time and you mind your own Akash, you mind yourself, and you go in and you go deeper, you connect more, then you get to the good stuff. It comes to the foreground, the more journey work you do. And that's why after the DNA activation, I've got soul purpose activation and other journey work that I can take people through. But they first need to be switched on for me to take them through those journeys, because their third eye needs to be open so that they can get benefit from it, so that they can see it and experience it for themselves.
I got it. Well, it's important, to set aside that spiritual practice. I do that in the morning. I do that at night. And sometimes I'll do it sporadically through the day. It depends. It depends. But I at least do that in the morning and at night. And I do connect. and do have that quiet time where I can see if I'm receiving messages. And some days I do and some days I don't. But it doesn't matter. You've got to be available, you know, to be able to receive that. When I've gotten the downloads, for me, and I don't know if it's the same for you or other people, but I get ringing in my right ear. I get like ringing, and I used to get like angelic stuff, but now I get, it feels like a code, like Morse code in my right ear. This is not all the time. This is only when they have these things that, you know, you hear about going on, and it feels like a Morse code, but it's something. To me, it's like it's something being communicated to me, but it's not in language. It appears to me as a sound, but it's a frequency of some sort. That's how that comes to me, but it could not be at all. So you have been so great. I want to tell people how to get a hold of you. Again, everyone, I have had 3 DNA activations. Each one was at least 3 hours. They're very involved. It's a lot more involved. Fiona explains things. She also has other services, past life. So many things on our website. But what I love is that you do set up that free consultation to talk to each person, because like with us, everyone is different at different stages. So you let them know where I think, you know, where they need to be and what we need to work on. And you told me my next one. I was like, okay. I was like, okay. And so you tell people where they are, where you think that they should be. And you're also getting information from Spirit on that.
Yes.
Right. Because and you have a lot of integrity.
And my guides, and I connect with their higher self and their guides. And I ask them why they're sending them to me and what I need to help them with. And I just follow Spirit's guidance, and it's always right on.
Exactly. But then you have to listen. It's funny because you've had messages from Jesus from me. You said, I know him as a Sananda, but, you know, I said, yeah, I know who he is. And you're like, okay. So, and he'll come through because I need a point person, and then he'll bring me other people. Like he's brought me Aster, but he brings me people probably like, I don't know if Saint Germain or Chiron does that. They bring me the people and they'll stand beside them as their way of saying, they're okay. It'll be okay. So look, this is, you know, so new to a lot of people. Some people not. Some people have seen things like this. But let me know in the chat box. We've been so concentrating with this in the chat box, what you thought, any comments, anything else you'd like to see. And also I want to get your feedback in the chat box. How, you know, how did you feel? Are you relaxed? I mean, this might be something you may have to communicate later, you know, with me. And you've got, you know, my email, info@seekingheavenshow.com is also on there. So you can let me know. And we'll have more of this kind of thing because you have so many things available to you that you could explain, and you look at things from a very holistic unity and love point of view. I mean, I always, you know, Pleiadians, the ones that I've met with you, they're very kind of hard, you know, about love and unity. And that's just where they live. No exceptions. I mean, there's a lot of integrity to that. So thank you for being you and sharing who you are and standing in your power, and admitting that, you know, hey, this is where I'm from. This is what I do. And being able to use these to help people in this world. And that takes a lot of courage to step out and to be of help. So I want to just hand to you for doing that. Yeah, hand to you, because that's that. You know, that to me, yeah, exactly. I wore my spacesuit for you. I got to work on a jumpsuit. That's what I saw on the actual real Galactic Federation ship. They wear little jumpsuits. So I still got to go on I'm still on my diet before I get into my skinny jump. Right now, I'll just wear my tenfold dress. Look, thank you so much, Fiona. Everybody connect with her. And that is portalofalchemy.com. And a Healing Heart Center, that center, spelled the European way.com, South African way, and connect with her. And then you can set up a free consultation, and she'll know immediately. Yeah, you're very good at that. You know immediately what people need. So thank you so much for your time today. You have been a blessing.
Thank you very much.
Much love.
Much love. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.